Chapter 5. Tariffs and Rate Engines. Pricing or rate tables is a logic-based model to determine your shipment invoice. Every established carrier has their own rules tariff on their company website for full disclosure. Rate or pricing tariff can be complex and possess its own industry words or jargon, such as FAK, commodity, blanket pricing, or deficit weight charges, and the list goes on. Every established carrier has its own cost model. The transportation industry standard is the TCG costing model. It captures every stream of operation expenses from labor, equipment, facilities, and other costing groups, and it can detail your operational expense ratio to revenue. The carriers that employ these systems knows how each customer account operates on an economic scale. 100 equates to break even, and above 100 equates to losing money, and below 100 equates to making money. So the purpose of pricing tariff is to position your standard pricing to keep your operating ratio below 100. The larger the carrier's service footprint, the more complex the tariff can become. Many of the major LTL carriers in the United States use a technology company called SMC3 Technologies, and they assemble the carrier's base model data within their pricing table and creates dynamic model of their tariff, and that allows carriers to employ auto raters to create the shipment invoice shortly after the shipment data has been entered into their system. These SMC3 tariff models refer to as Czarlite Tariffs and are highly customized for each carrier to support rates tables for every pair of origin and destination zip codes. Zip codes are used to define a carrier service footprint and are called a carrier's points file, and it captures the service type of direct or non-direct, transit days, and service days per week. Carrier partnerships have been created that merge multiple carriers' points file and form an expanded direct service footprint is designed to create carrier appeal with the goal of capturing a higher shipment count from its customer base. These carrier partnerships will honor the originating carrier pricing agreements and split revenue via D83 split methodology. The D83 system is a point-to-point mileage calculator, and the carrier exchange point will determine the carrier's length of haul percentage, which is used to proportion the revenue distribution. These merged carriers' points files can be deceptive because you see a direct service point on a carrier service guide, and you would expect your carrier's assets and personnel to be providing door-to-door service. The reality, the carrier picking up the shipment is not the carrier delivering the shipment. These carrier partnerships were created to capture market share from national carriers by providing mutual shippers with flexibility to adjust their shipment routing because of more favorable pricing within the partnership carriers. Blanket FAK rates. The freight industry has created a methodology called CWT, or hundredweight. Your shipment weight is divided by 100 and then multiplied by the tariff rate for the corresponding class and weight bracket. There is usually a minimum rate that applies until shipment weight passes the minimum rate threshold. This threshold can be determined by dividing the CWT rate into minimum charge. Example, reference the table below. The minimum charge is $266.25 divided by $160.33 equals 1.66, multiplied by 100 equals 166 pounds. There can be exceptions to pricing tariffs and reviewing the carrier's posted rules. Tariff can highlight specifics. Some exceptions can be excessive length and correlating accessorial charge. That would be charged a household goods shipment that could have a minimum weight of 500 lbs. That may be concealed by the rate engine, but appear on your invoice. I provided an example of a rate table that has designated rate class, increment increases, and the incremental decrease in the designated weight breaks of less than 500 pounds. Greater than 500 pounds, but less than 1,000 pounds, and that weight breaks pattern is maintained to 10,000 pounds and greater. These models are very customized from carrier to carrier, where they have defined their sweet spot by head haul, back haul, or low-capacity lanes. It is common for carriers to create a new Czarlite tariff for each year that captures annual or semi-annual general rate increases, GRI, and other adjustments. So if you began using a carrier with a pricing agreement contract, your base tariff could be SCAC code, Czarlite 2019 tariff, and applying discounts to this base rate would be applied to each shipment billed under your pricing agreement. Carriers are very protective of their tariff agreement to avoid any pricing threats from any competitive carriers. There is usually a non-disclosure agreement about sharing the details of the pricing agreement, but shippers often may share past invoices, but not share the pricing agreement. This is usually a sign that a shipper is sensing that their existing carrier is not valuing their business and has entertained conversation with other carriers to explore improved value. Competing carriers can apply their customer-specific discount to make their pricing more market competitive, and the shipper feels that they have an economic advantage over their direct competitors. To enter the request for pricing (RFP) circle, you must bring relevant historical data of your company's shipping profile to the table. Carrier costing model like TCG will illuminate cost centers that are dragging down profit attainment. These drags could be productivity related or highlighted service lanes that are not performing because of over-aggressive base rate discounting, the service lane is running less than capacity, or the lane is imbalanced with too many empty miles spent repositioning equipment to support a strong head haul lane. Carriers utilize a variety of tools and tariffs to customize pricing for their targeted shippers. The biggest challenge is to collect the relevant data to fairly represent your company's shipping history and shipment profiles. A modern TMS should be able to retain all the relevant data points. We can help you collect and review your carrier request for pricing (RFP) campaign. Since many carriers simply use a blanket rate model to calculate their operating ratio and then assign a discount based on their preferred Czarlite rate tariff. The reality, the pricing delivered to you is rarely aggressive. GRG Consulting will leverage the global trans network of carriers to solicit interest. There is no guarantee your RFP rates are going to be better than the GTZ ship FAK pricing, but we provide the avenues to make that determination. Federal Express is an example. The shipper must have a monthly expenditure of $20,000, and will review the shipment history of residential deliveries, liftgate, excessive length, etc. In simple terms, they are very selective in the freight they want to solicit, and if they do participate, the pricing agreement is good for 1 year and generally has an annual GRI less than what has been announced. We can create a shipping profile and submit your RFP that will show just how aggressive carriers will bid on your potential business. Our profile captures everything needed: shipment count, weight information, freight class and density, and shipment routing lanes. To put your business is in the best position to secure optimum discounts. The time we spend on the pricing and tariffs may seem excessive, but the more you understand the pricing or rating system, the more you can appreciate our GTZ ship technology that centralizes carrier rates, provides itemized rate details, and you can witness the economic impact of the negotiating prowess of Global Trans's $5 billion annual spend and the saving it can generate for our clients.